All right, we're back live with another end of day PulseWave report with yours truly, the Algo Capitalist, aka the Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com, home of the world famous PulseWave Price Trigger reports. All right, so as you know, this is our Take Back Friday special edition, and this is where we take a look at where the markets have come from and what the likelihood is going to be for Friday's trading. And, this gives us an idea of what we're looking for going into next week. So far, this is the NASDAQ 100, the QQQ. So far, we're forming a primary rally alert going into next week on the weekly chart. All right, and you can see this market has just been getting pummeled, but it looks like it's possible that we could be bottoming out here and having a nice little rally. We'll see how this market closes tomorrow, because that's going to determine if this stays this way. But as of right now, all things being equal, it looks like the market could be set to rally into next week on the weekly chart for the NASDAQ. Next up is silver by way of ticker SLV, and we're expecting more downside. So far, we're right here at the lows of the week, and we're setting ourselves up for a crash alert going into next week, meaning that we're looking to put a new leg down in silver. Ouch. Looking at the S&P 500 by way of SPY, same as the NASDAQ 100, looking to put in some sort of a bottom, short-term bottom, give us a rally alert to start off for next week. I think the market's just going to back and fill these gaps before heading lower, putting in new legs lower. So this is what it is right now. Just ride the rhythm. Like Chill Rob G said, just ride the rhythm. All right, next up is bonds, all right, by way of ticker TLT. It's also setting itself up for a primary rally alert going into next week, but it is right here at that resistance zone. Can the market pull away and start to retrace somewhat? We'll see. Tomorrow's close is going to be very important, and it'll let us know what we're going to do, because right now it's looking like this market may want to retrace and get back up to the 130, 135 handle. We shall see. Next up is Nat Gas, and as you can see here, Nat Gas is already crashing, and I think the Kumo cloud is the target. So we could see Nat Gas down between $17 and $15 a share on ticker UNG. So we'll see what happens with that one, but it's looking bearish. What about the US dollar? It's taking a breather up here at these high levels. But so far, all things being equal, it's looking like it's setting itself up for a crash alert going into next week. Anything's possible. All right. So if anything, I know it's looking like, dipping back down below 2750. Bottom of the Kumo cloud, actually the top of the Kumo cloud at 2550 will probably be the initial target on a correction. Last correction couldn't get nothing going. Market rallied even more. We'll see what happens this time. Next up is Litecoin. Litecoin is trying to give us a primary rally alert going into next week as well, but it's been a really tough road going. So we'll see if it can get something off the ground and moving and shaking. So far, no go. Ethereum, same thing. Ethereum also is trying to give us a primary rally alert going into next week. We'll see what happens. This is the Ethereum futures, by the way, and it has a lot of overhead resistance to overcome. What about oil? Well, if you take a look at crude oil by way of ticker OIH on the weekly, you see it's just been coming off. And I think that this market is going to try to put in a bottom, because the top of the Kumo cloud is not too far away. It's around the $200 mark. So I think we'll probably hit that before getting some type of a technical bounce. But right now it is looking very bearish for oil going into next week. Next up, looking at gold by way of ticker GLD. and you're sideways consolidated with a bearish bias. You did have a primary crash alert coming into this week. So I think this week is setting up for the next leg down for next week. So look out below in the gold space. What about the Russell by way of ticker IWM? Setting itself up also for a primary rally alert going into next week. And we have this gap that I think the market's going to back and fill before weakness sets in again and the bears come in and knock the market down to a new leg lower. And last but not least is the mighty Bitcoin by the way of the Bitcoin futures. As you can see here, it's trying to set itself up for a primary rally alert going into next week. But this week's not done yet. It's a very narrow range because of the holiday week, but it's setting itself up for a primary crash alert going into next week. Let me show you the way these bars normally work. It's all over the place, but in this particular context, on one hand, you've set yourself up to rally the week following. Same thing here. But then on this one, you set yourself up for a downer. All right, so, and this one didn't give us the primary, but it gave us a bullish pointer, and then the market just collapsed and hasn't looked back since, ignoring this bullish pointer on the weekly. Is this another telltale sign that we're about to go even lower? I think Bitcoin is going to be pushed, like I said, below $1,000 before the washout is done, and then I think that the market will take off like a rocket off there. All the weak hands have been shaken out of the market. Time horizon has been an issue, and this is a weekly chart, so you have to take things in stride. So let's see if we can pull up the monthly chart and maybe get a better understanding. So I will attempt to do that for you now. All right, so let's look at where we've come from. So here, this monthly bar here, the month ending November the 30th of 2021 is when we hit that 69,000 high, right? And so far, we're here. So this was November the 30th. Let's see here. November 30th of 2021. And this is November 30th of 2020. All right, so 12 months. And that's 13. And this is 69. So I would say roughly, let's say we'll say 50, or round it and say 50. All right. So that means here we are. All right. From bottom to top and top to bottom, this market should bottom November, in November of 2022. This market should bottom because it goes from November to November. So you wanted to know a date. Now, I have taught you guys over the years that it is impossible to marry price and time. But I can get you within the month, the calendar month. But the price is more important than the time. But if you want, gun to my head, you want to know a time, it's going to be November. So November of 2020 is when you rallied from 13,370 all the way up to 69,355, November 30th of 2021. All right, so November 30th of 2022 is where you should bottom out at, which means you have the propensity to drop below, to at least get down to that 13,370. All right, and you're almost there. So technically speaking, all things being equal, you still have another 7,000 to the downside, 7,000 points to the downside. All right. So there you go. You got your price and time. Your target is 13,370 by the end of November 2022. You wanted it asked and answered. There you go. That was a big question that came up. I get asked all the time. So there you have it. Bitcoin should bottom out by the end of November of this year and then be ready to rock and roll. But I believe, just my opinion, that they want to take the market below 1,000. They want to do something radical. This right here would make people cry, want to commit suicide, and all this other stuff, and say, I hate crypto. I'll never buy crypto or trade crypto again. And that's what that would do. That's the pain. You know, another drop below 5,000 is a pain threshold, a psychological threshold that would just disgust everyone. And then you take it even lower, but make it drop below 1,000. It'd be all over the news wires and everything else. And then that's when the elite come in and buy it all up and box you out and take it from 1,000 up to 100,000 within 30 days. That's right. So there you go, people. That is my long-term Bitcoin analysis for you. Remember, smash that like button. And remember, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. Have a wonderful weekend and see you back here on Sunday. Peace.